すまなかったね。疲れたろ？ういうい。
If there's one thing we know about Mei Mei, she's fine as hell, but she's more than just looks. She's pivotal in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen. Her attitude toward money, her questionable relationship with her younger brother, all of it makes her incredibly fascinating. Mei Mei isn't just a character, she's a symbolic figure representing the darker sides of Jujutsu Kaisen's political climate. And if you pay attention, the darker sides of real-world politics too. So today we're diving deep into the underrated first grade sorcerer, the controversial woman who stole and broke our hearts while keeping her brother's heart alive and well. Welcome to Mei Mei. Mei Mei is a character symbolic of brutal capitalism. When you look at Gege's way of portraying certain characters, you start to see a bigger picture. He uses them to set the stage for social dialogue, whether about Japan or life in general. Take Kurugama, for example, a defense lawyer that exposes Japan's harsh legal system. And in the case of Mei Mei, there's a quote by Karl Marx that explains her perfectly. Capital is dead labor. That vampire life only lives by sucking living labor, and lives the more labor it sucks. The more labor it appropriates, the more alive it becomes.
私は金の味方だよ。金に換えられないものに価値はないか。
Throughout Jujutsu Kaisen, Mei Mei cares about one thing, money. On the surface, she might look like a self-absorbed baddie, taking what she can get. But when you look closer, she's more of a harsh, calculated business person, operating in the Jujutsu society like a corporate titan.
By becoming rich!
When the Shibuya incident hits, Mei Mei is hired as a mercenary sorcerer, which is interesting because this arc was supposed to be a proving ground for lower grade sorcerers like Maki, Itadori, and Megami, trying to gain promotion. Yet Mei Mei
ところで君の口座はまだ凍結されていないね。
takes a very amoral approach. Throughout the arc, even as characters like Kenjaku and Mahito curse civilians, Mei Mei is constantly calculating her potential monetary gain, her anticipated loss, and acting based on that. When Kenjaku in Suguru Geto's body shows up, even after initially fighting him,
KL、私はもう縁も変えた。
Mei Mei escapes Shibuya entirely. Later, she even calls her business to tell them to pull their investment from Japan's real estate because the city was destroyed. Whether it's abandoning comrades or sucking up to higher up, she does whatever it takes to maximize profit. Her character is the embodiment of a cutthroat billionaire, making money at all costs, even if it means manipulating family ties.
お前はほんとういやつ。
また思ってもないことを姉様が
よくわかっているじゃないか。そういうところ好きだよ。
Mei Mei and Ui Ui have a very interesting sibling relationship. And the thing that makes her truly controversial isn't just her cutthroat capitalism, it's her grooming behavior toward her younger brother. From the Journal of Sexual Abuse, grooming is a process by which a person in a position of power builds trust, dependency, and emotional obligation in a younger or more vulnerable individual, gradually normalizing exploitation while framing their relationship as protection, mentorship, or care. Ui Ui thinks the world of his older sister. Actually, his only piece of characterization is that his existence revolves around idolizing Mei Mei.
姉様は今カラスたちと視覚を共有しています。
But here's the thing, Mei Mei brings him along during the Shibuya incident, not out of care, but because of his cursed technique. Ui Ui can teleport people. He can also create simple domains, and this makes him incredibly useful for Mei Mei. As a sorcerer, Mei Mei is lesser in her cursed technique, so Ui Ui becomes her insurance policy against special grade curses, a living buffer able to help her escape, defend, and
ういうい。私のために死んでくれるかい？
even act as her personal sacrificial lamb. This creates a dangerous power dynamic. Ui Ui loves Mei Mei, but Mei Mei sees him as a tool for safety and profit, all wrapped in this sixth sense of older sister love. This is what textbook grooming looks like. And just like her power dynamic with Ui Ui, everything she does is calculated. Every move, every crow, every swing of her axe. It's strategic, it's strategy, survival, and profit all rolled into one deadly package.
もう少し働こっかな。
This is where Mei Mei's brilliance as a sorcerer really shows. As I mentioned before, Mei Mei isn't flashy, not like Gojo, not like Yuta. At first, her cursed technique might even seem unimpressive, but that's exactly what makes it so effective. Her cursed technique is black bird manipulation. She can control crows infused with cursed energy, use them for reconnaissance, tracking, and precision attack. But here's the catch, it comes at a cost. Each crow must be imbued with cursed energy and positioned strategically, and overcharging or controlling the crows drains her own energy. That's why Bird Strike is so devastating. It's a specialized lethal attack that can obliterate an opponent, but each strike requires one crow, and she can't just summon an infinite supply. So every strike she chooses to use is carefully calculated, every move deliberately, and that's where her physical prowess comes in. She knows her technique is conditional, sometimes limited, sometimes mellow, so she amplifies her strength through physical combat. Most of her fights, they revolve around an axe fused with her own cursed energy. She fights this way, fully aware of her limitations as a sorcerer. Now, she combines her physical skill and her strategic cursed technique. She's not flashy like Megumi or Todo. She's not purely physical like Toji or Maki. What makes her a first-grade sorcerer is her ability to blend both worlds. She can go toe-to-toe with anyone while using her cursed abilities smartly to tip the fight in her favor. But she's just as calculated as her fighting. Mei Mei's real power isn't only in her crow or her axe, it's how she moves through the world, how she uses people, influence, and even charm to get what she wants.
Crying, would you console me? I definitely like that.
And just like her fighting style, her presence in Jujutsu society is calculated, and that part makes her both loved and hated. Her seductive attitude, every mannerism, every glance, even the voice acting. If you watch the sub, yes, sub, she has a more motherly tone, which creates a mommy effect that has fan service anime watchers in a chokehold. But this isn't just fan service, it's part of how Mei Mei navigates the world. Someone who is a cutthroat capitalist, willing to do anything for money, and who has an atypical sibling relationship would normally be feared, avoided, or distrusted. But Mei Mei, she's a first-grade sorcerer with connections to the higher-up, a plethora of business contacts, respect from her peers at Jujutsu High, and much of this, it can be traced back to her seductive nature, her subtle erotic tone, her ability to draw others in. All of it is carefully wielded so she can ultimately get what she wants. At the end of the day, Mei Mei is a character who represents amoral financial business. She highlights the harsh realities of people who exploit those less developed, and she's an outstanding Jujutsu sorcerer. But her strength isn't just in combat. She uses the art of seduction as her means to get whatever she wants, even our heart. She isn't just a character in a vacuum. She's someone we can look to for insight into the dark politics of Jujutsu Kaisen. But that's just what I think. If you think differently, let me know down in the comments. Once again, my name's AOI-KUN, and this was my synopsis.